My name is Rhapsody and welcome to Atomicrops. Atomicrops is the post-apocalyptic farming simulator that you never knew you wanted to play. If you need comparisons to other games, then enter the Gungeon plus Stardew Valley. But I don't necessarily like doing that. I understand, however, it is quite helpful for situating it in your mind for the kind of gameplay you might be looking for. Let's immediately leap in. Now, this game is still in early access, so I do want to note that what is currently going to be shown is not necessarily reflective of the quality or polish of the end product. All right, let's go into the tutorial. Listen up, City Slicker, because I'm only saying this once. To live, you need money. To get money, you sell crops. To get crops, you need seeds. So go down there and pick up some seeds. Now get those city hands dirty and till some soil to plant those dang seeds. So till some soil. Got 4 potatoes at the moment. You can have a look at a lot of the different elements on the screen. Obviously, we've got a time system up here in the top right. Not necessarily active at the moment because I don't think it has to be. Accidentally muted my microphone there for a second. Oops. We've also got our HP up here in the top left, as well as a currency directly below it. Obviously, our seeds on the mid left, and at the bottom, we can see the amount of water that we're currently holding, which I guess will be shown relevant in just a moment. And then these 2 final we'll talk about in a moment. So let's plant the potatoes that we've been given. What's next? Well, ain't rocket science. Get some water from the dang well, dummy! Crops ain't gonna water themselves. Get close and spray them down. Thirsty crops don't grow. I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. If the crop needs to be watered, it ain't gonna grow. Also, like, necessarily, 1 unit of water doesn't necessarily feed an entire plant. As you saw, we used 4 just to get 2 of them down there. Use a pickaxe to rip up the grass. More dirt means more farm for plants. Jeez, you're helpless. Okay, so we've expanded our plot here. Oh boy, you smell that stink? Fertilized crops make more money. You want to be a rich farmer, don't you? So obviously these are the 2 final ones that I had neglected to mention up until this point. The pickaxes for expanding your tillable soil, and the fertilizer for increasing the value of your different crops. Stop lollygagging and go find some more seeds. Your crops are fine. Some that is. Here is the other part of the gameplay loop. So obviously there is the farming area, but there's also exploration in order to find more resources to make your farming more efficient. You have to balance those wills against one another. So over here, just managed to pick up a bunch of seeds. Sun's getting real low, greenhorn. You best get... Wait. Best you get back and defend your land. You ain't the only one with teeth looking for a snack. And damn, I'm not the only one looking like a snack either. Ooh, look at that 3rd tooth the guy has. That looks like a strong chomper. Well, slap me silly. Looks like your green thumb paid off. You got some crops ready for harvest. So we'll hold Alt in order to harvest the ones that are ready. You can see that they're leaping off of the ground as they are prepared to be harvested. Hey, looks like you're not so helpless after all. Guess I'll leave you to it. And don't worry, nothing bad ever. If you've seen the trailer for the game, that's exactly what happens as well. In particular, it happens while you hide in here. This is a coming soon feature to select the character with which you start, but let's actually just leap into a game. So we start on the season of spring. Now, I usually don't immediately start by picking up those seeds and planting them because potatoes are really, really low value. So I start exploring as quickly as possible. There's a lot of camps out here, and you can see there are certain enemies that have flags above them. Those enemies are tied to the camp, and if you kill all of the enemies with the flags above them, you can actually loot the stuff in that camp. So here I can get a chicken that will remove weeds from my farm, or a pig that will till soil and sometimes expand the farmable area. And over here I've managed to get some more seeds by allowing that squirrel to escape the camp, as well as a golden treasure map, which I will deal with in just a bit. But here's the kind of combat loop, initially at the very least. It gets a lot more hectic as you have a ridiculously large farm you are constantly trying to defend from oncomers, while also trying to build up your resources from exploring. For a moment though, it's gonna be pretty chill. Tilled soil lasts longer, neat, I'll take that. Now, my understanding is that these camps don't respawn, so you effectively exhaust areas as you explore them. So you want to be as thorough with each of these different areas as possible, because you don't want to have to come back and just locate the final camp here that you hadn't yet killed. Beautiful. And also, while I'm doing all of this killing, I am just getting more fertilizer. So here's some scrolls: double crop growth and water for 60 seconds, or Atomicrops, which is create and sow low-value seeds in all available soil plots. I'm going to take the ability to grow my seeds a lot faster, just so that I can set up a really, really early payout. Especially because I don't intend to spend any of today farming. Despite the fact that I said this is Stardew Valley and a farming simulator, I'm just going to be playing Enter the Gungeon for a while. It is overly reductive to refer to it as Enter the Gungeon. Literally, it's like a twin-stick shooter that has roguelike elements. I don't necessarily like contributing to the comparison, but I do find it is helpful for viewers. Expands farmable area a little and cuts weeds. Great, I'll take a lesser earthquake there. So I've already cleared like the top half of this side of the map now. Ooh, beautiful. Found ourselves a tractor. So a tractor is an ability that you can use that is on cooldown after usage, right? So it's effectively like gaining a skill. You can only have one tractor at a time unless otherwise stated. But they have effects like turn enemies into fertilizer. Can only hold a tractor at a time. Great. That's going to be really good. So we're getting some more pickaxes as well. There's also occasionally things that you can forage in the wild, like those berries that I just managed to. This is what the golden map had led me to, and this is basically the toughest enemy we're going to be fighting for, I want to say about 10 minutes. But thankfully, due to my experience with specifically Gungeon, I'm very, very familiar with just kiting enemies constantly. So despite the fact that I don't really have the right damage, it's all fine. And from that we get resilience, crops spread onto hard cross soil. That's real good. Getting more than one crop per seed that you plant. Extremely efficient. It is worth noting that adventuring is kind of extremely dangerous here, because your HP is not a regenerative resource. You have to spend resources getting HP back. So every hit I take is a permanent hit. Which is why I'm going to be as careful as possible to take as few hits as possible here in the early game. So that's why I'm being a little careful about it. I'll take a pig there for more tillable soil. Usually I manage to fully explore one of the sides before the first day ends, so I'm a little behind the 8 ball right now, but we should ultimately be fine. So here is the phase that you arrive at in, I guess you would call it a quote-unquote town, in between different days of farming. And this is where you can use your resources in order to buy more things that you can use to then advance your progress in both farming, exploration, and combat. I know I said both and then listed 3, but hey, I didn't know I was going to say 3 things at the start. So you can pay 100 of whatever the currency is. I'm going to call them golden potatoes. You can pay 100 golden potatoes in order to get the bridge materials to open passages to new areas. You can also buy some new seeds. Over here, desert or plain seeds. Desert seeds require little water but take a while to grow, and plain seeds are the inverse. There's also weapons. And interestingly, the weapons have a durability of a day. So by base, you always have the pea shooter. If you want to be more offensively capable on a day, you have to buy a weapon. And since it dies at the end of that day, you don't want to overinvest in weapons either. Over here, we also have the ability to buy health. Here, you can see that, yeah, it's a non-renewable resource. Ish. In that, in order to buy health, you need to use roses. Roses are a special type of crop that you can grow. You can see that I've got 5 of them available at the moment. They take a while to harvest and they don't take any fertilizer, and they also can't grow in like a 2x2 or a grid like that. I'll show you 2x2 growth in just a moment after this. But you use them for the most important purchases that you make here in the town, including purchasing HP, but wooing strangers. There's Rue up here. You can increase your relationship for 3 roses. Every level you increase in the relationship requires the next increase to have 1 more rose. So it's 3, 4, 5, I think 6. But ultimately, you can marry these strangers as well if you flirted with them enough, started to date them, and then propose. Of course, it takes a ridiculous amount of roses in order to do, but you can do that, and then they will give you passive benefits over time. Also, whenever I flirt with them just to increase that progress, I'll earn whatever thing they have directly behind them. So we can see this stranger is offering health, and this stranger is also offering health. I don't really need health right now, and I also don't have roses. So I couldn't if I wanted to, and I don't, so it's fine. Savvy? Let's return back to the farm. We'll also see, by the way, 1 out of 3. So there are 3 days per season, and on the 3rd day of the season, a boss spawns. Once you kill that boss, you can go up here to have a little bit of a celebration of your achievements. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go back onto the farms. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna till all of this right now. Perfect. Now, I actually have a tree as well. A tree is like a renewable crop. It doesn't exhaust when you farm it out. It's exactly like a tree in Stardew Valley, right? Like the tree stays, you can continually get the fruits. So I do want to go out and find some enemies, but I'm gonna rain on this parade for a while. Just to try and get some foraging, well, not foraging, but farming going on today. Just because I don't want to be way too behind on that and then figure it out suddenly too late. Okay, beautiful. Also, all of those roses are going to be really important for, you know, flirting with the people back in town. It's damned important. Sweet. Really glad I got that lesser rain cloud. It meant that I basically didn't even have to deal with with any farming segment. Like, that's all done now. I'm gonna peace out. That worked out really well. We've already got 8 roses. I have obviously played like a fair bit of this game before, while it was still under embargo, in order to figure out if it was something that I was interested in covering on the channel, and it is. So I do have some experience with this game. And I have enough experience to say that having 8 roses on day 2 is pretty good. It's quite good. So you can see I'm getting seeds by doing this exploration as well, so it is necessary that I balance it here in these early days as well. Beautiful. Although, I think... yeah, I don't really think there's anything else for us to loot over on this side, which is good. So there's one other area that's already open to us that we won't need bridge materials in order to explore. And I think I'll be doing all of the exploration for that tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is also going to be our first boss, so it's very important that I have enough money to buy a weapon and, if possible, upgrade that weapon as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we get back in town, but it does look like I've completely exhausted this area. Great. I kind of wish there was a mini-map that showed you what parts you had and had not explored. But again, it is in early access, so it's not like it's not necessarily something that the game won't have. Alright. I'm gonna chase you all away from my crops for just a little moment here. Yeah, so you can start seeing that the enemies that are spawning are starting to have a little bit more HP, so our weapon is starting to become less effective against them. And because you have to buy a weapon every single day if you want any upgraded weapon, you can see the resources that you require per day become more intensive as time goes on. Also, please don't destroy that tree. Like, it's really important I keep that. Alright, so it's 11 seconds until morning. Yeah, we'll be fine. We can probably leave that crop and try and explore over here a little bit. Sweet. Okay, just a little bit there. And if I can also liberate this just before we get stolen. Beautiful. Lesser earthquake ore. Dang it! Oh, I actually didn't even manage to pick it up in time. Ah, well. So you can see that automatically the crops are sold as you return back to town, and you get the value for them. We got better value for the ones that had the fertilizer used on them. So when possible, use fertilizer effectively is what I'm saying. Sniper rifle, one shot, one kill, or the butcher's knife. Chance to deal double damage and drop a fertilizer chunk. I'll think about that in a moment. Let's go have a look at what these strangers are offering. So the top one is still offering HP, but Borage is offering a thorn, an orbiting thorn that damages nearby enemies. I'm gonna hold off on spending any of my roses because I actually don't think the thorn is that good. I'm also not gonna buy pickaxes or anything like that because I have 2 pigs. My tillable soil is already going to expand, like, naturally a lot. So I probably will almost never need a pickaxe. That said, that's the point of taking the pigs, right? So you can take cows that'll water your crops for you, but also you can take turrets that'll defend your crops for you. You use those resources to cover the weaknesses that you don't want to cover yourself. So if you don't want to do combat, you can get a bunch of drones and you can get a bunch of turrets that'll defend your stuff for you. If you don't want to water your crops, and that becomes really tedious later on, you're going to need some cows, those kinds of things. Ultimately, you will end up with something quite automated, but you still have so much that you have to do over the top of it at the same time. So I don't know if I want to go with the butcher's knife or the sniper rifle. The butcher's knife would just be so that I can get extra fertilizer, but my tractor already does that, so I'm not certain I want to go with that. I'm gonna go with the sniper rifle. One shot, one kill. And then now that I have a non-basic weapon, I have the ability to upgrade. These upgrades do not persist, is my understanding. So if I buy this upgrade, I'm spending 100 to have this weapon disintegrate at the end of the day and lose that 100. I'm actually fine with that. Ooh, I increased the clip size of the sniper rifle. Neat. And yeah, let's bounce back out into the field. Take all of those and then immediately split. I don't want to do any more farming right now. I'll have some time to farm later. I am really a huge fan of having the sniper rifle. Like, it's one of my favorites. Largely because I'm pretty damn accurate with sniper rifles in top-down shooters. Again, the Gungeon experience. That's not me comparing the games, that's just me saying that I played enough Gungeon to have significant experience. Ah, excellent. So you can see that some HP is dropped. If you collect HP when you're on full HP, you start unlocking a new kind of health slot. A bee doubles a crop's growth rate, or a cow waters crops. We'll take a cow. Haha, perfect. So killing the enemies can also give you seeds, which is part of the reason why I'm killing just random enemies, despite the fact that they're not actually holding camps. That was a really bad shot on my part. Getting a lot of pickaxes here that I don't really need. Kind of unfortunate. Sweet. I just want to exhaust the exploration of this side of the map before we have to fight the boss. Lesser earthquake or... Let's take that. I don't think I need the lesser earthquakes when I have the pigs already expanding the tillable soil for me. Excelente. Till missile. Tilling soil or breaking crusts fires a missile, or growth aura. Nearby crops grow twice as fast. Ooh, yes. That's extremely powerful. So that's just a passive benefit that will stick with us. Golden chest map. Beautiful. I'm going to intentionally just go straight to the golden chests because obviously that's going to have better rewards for us. Uh-oh. No, that's the boss following me right now. I need to quickly go and kill this. No, 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 don't end it. Ah, okay, it got me. So now I'm teleported back to the actual crop. I'm gonna just focus on the Monstropod really, really quickly here because I don't have any crops right now that I have to deal with. And the Monstropod can spawn other minions, so killing them as quickly as possible is the most efficient usage of my shots right now. Hey. I kind of actually wish I did have the earthquake right now just to get rid of the... Whoa. Oh, you've come to hunt me down. I love it. Nice try, bud. Yeah, no, I wish I had the earthquake right now just so that I could get rid of all of these... all the weeds here. I don't think I'm actually going to... Wait, hang on. No! I took my first hit. All right, I'm panicked that I don't think I've given enough to farming because I didn't manage to fully explore the right side in the first day. So I'm gonna quickly try and get as much farmed as possible because at the end of each season you are rated based on how much you've done. So as you can see, I have to balance dodging all of the enemies here with actually tending to my farm. This is what I'm talking about in terms of it gets really hectic because you have a priority that you have to explicitly ignore. On. 2 more. No! No, it's not gonna be enough. Dang it. It's all my bad. Alright, we'll see how we've done this season. I feel like it's probably not good. So you can see my gun just broke there. That always happens. Durability of 1. I don't think any weapons currently have a durability of more than a day. Ooh! Stranger, you are currently offering a stats up. Increase farming and fighting stats by 2. That might be worth doing. And you've got till soil or break crust to fire a missile. That's not that important. But it does help you because that means that I can just be farming and the combat will take care of itself on the other side. So the mayor has a party in our honor and rates our performance. Oh, damn! Never mind, we're good. All right, we got enough food in order to get all of the different rewards that are available. So you can see here, that's a stat up reward, that's a gift, stat up, just a random scroll, stat up, health, as well as a cornucopia. I don't know what those are. I currently don't understand their function. Again, stat up, gift, stat up, and then a rose at the very end as well. So I'll take the rose. We got bubble shield as well. Watering crops creates a bubble shield to block projectiles, as well as bridge repair materials. I'll take health. Earthquake. This is an upgraded earthquake as well. The previous one was lesser, so this is going to have more of an effect. And then, yeah, 2 cornucopias, which I still don't really understand what you do with them. And a drone follows you around and attacks enemies. Neat. So that's just going to permanently be with us. You can see on the tab screen all of the kind of permanent bonuses that we have. Except here it doesn't show the units that we have that are going to be working in tandem with us. So while this festival is on, there are a couple of different things you can do. You can go up here to a special shop that will sell you a bunch of different things for roses. Again, roses are a non-renewable resource, so you probably don't want to buy things that are slightly renewable, like crops. Turret could be good. Chicken could be good for removing weeds. I don't know. I think I want to do more flirting. There's also gamble for 100. 1,000. I've never done that. I don't know what it do. We'll find it out together, you and I. Over here, I could purchase a tractor, but you can only hold one at a time. So let's have a look at the sprinkler tractor. Crops in a small area drop a seed. Trees have a small chance of dropping a seed. And waters all crops in the area. It doesn't necessarily cover a large area, though. And yeah, I'm not really going to do anything rest of the festival, but I will flirt with Borage. Borage is still offering another stats up? I'm going to take it. Ooh. Increase all farming abilities and all damage dealt. So the farming abilities, it increases the amount of water that you can hold at any one time. I think it also increases the area of your harvest. And then power, obviously, just straight damage increase. So I only have one bridge building material. What do I want to do? I'm going to get a shotgun and upgrade it because I'm going to want to do a back gun. Oh, wow, we fire backwards. Because I'm going to want to do probably a lot of exploring in the next season. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Atomicrops. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourself so far. There's a playlist in the description down below with all my content on this game, present and future. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.